All right, I'm going to continue in my series about Web3 domain names. And what I've been doing since the start of the year here at the beginning of 2023 is going over some of the different things you can do with a Web3 domain name. And many of these are things that we're used to doing with a domain name in the Web0 or Web2 space. And to review the purpose of a domain name, in my opinion, the main function of it, which is completely unique of all the assets in the world, is that it's both a purposeful item, and that it helps you do something. It helps you find a record, find an identity. It maps with a simple, easy to remember name, something that exists digitally in a complex form. And when I thought about this, I thought about even something in the real world. How could I compare this? And I think about the real world. Most of us have our official name, our long name. My name is Hampton Page Howe. And if I had to use that name everywhere I went and type it everywhere I went, it could be a bit tiresome and long and wouldn't fit into many input forms and things like that. So I go by Page, which is my middle name, and some people go by their first name, and some people go by a derivative of their first name. So if you think about it, we use these type of substitutes all the time. I think about your car. Your car usually has a unique identifier to it, a number that's on the engine or is on the engine block that says what the car is, but you may just call it, the brand name of that car. I think about your address. You usually have a plot number in the records of your county or city that shows what the physical location of your address is, and then and that may be that you're on block 427 of acre 162 of map 7 in drawer 8, but you are just known by your address: 124 Main Street, 164 Oak Street, 862 Camino de Escudera. And so I think that we use these type of things all the time. So if you think about in the digital world, you don't have something physical to fall back on. A digital asset only exists digitally. And many times, whoever created the digital asset has a long and involved number for it, like a wallet. So we talked about wallets. We talked about website names, talked about website locators, meaning you may have your main website using a third-party service like LinkedIn or a social media network, or a WordPress website, and you may be at wordpress.com/site/l/world directory, .com or something like that. And so you use a domain name to shorten that. So I think as I get down here to the file locator, I wanted to talk about that for a second, because the NFTs, which were so big and are so amazing what they can do to ascribe digital identity to a digital asset, many times that asset exists somewhere, and what you need a domain name or a smart contract to match up with that to be able to easily say where it's located. I think the other thing that you'll see with Web3 domain names is that you may be able to control your email, which in the Web2 world was pretty much a free-for-all. You could send an email to anyone that had a domain name, and that created the huge amounts of spam and inappropriate email and prospecting. But I think what you'll probably see in the Web3 emails is you'll see a lot of things built around permissions. Does someone have permission to send me an email? Or, and here's I think one of the biggest business opportunities in Web3, is you may have something where someone has to pay in either a token or a cryptocurrency to be able to send you an email. So think about it. You'd have a Web3 email address or a Web3 destination or a Web3 website, and built into it was the fact that not everyone could send you an email, only certain people can send it to you. Now, I'm not saying that exists right now, but I think when we look at Web3 email, it's going to be able to, as the second mover, as something that can learn from the regular email we have now and make it better. So I think we'll see more email options and maybe some innovative email in Web3 domain names. Then the last thing is a smart contract signee. I think sometimes you need to memorialize something digitally to say that you've sold something. You need to deliver a bill of sale. You need to ascribe to at what point in time a digital asset went from becoming yours to someone else's. And I think in many cases, we're going to want to record this on a blockchain. And instead of having different wallet addresses or things like that be how we remember the parties to a contract, I think you'll see some applications there with Web3 domain names. So thanks for listening, and I'll do another one of these next week on the uses of Web3 domain names.